I'm just somebody like you who had an average marriage, who was in a marriage for a long time, had children, a house, a dog. I was that person. And I was also just like you, where we hit a wall where the relationship, the sexual side of the relationship was just not working anymore. We had had a lot of sex during our marriage. It seemed like a lot. It seemed like I had, experienced a lot of things at that point, but I was still kind of not satisfied. And he definitely wasn't satisfied as well. We talked about doing some other kind of sexy things like going to a swingers club or having a threesome, but we never did it because we were quite scared and we had children and I was a mother and a wife and I don't know. It just never happened. But there came a time when we were both just fed up with each other. We kept going through this cycle of, me wanting more intimacy and connection and him wanting more sex. And then we would get angry at each other because we weren't giving each other what we wanted. And we couldn't really verbalize what it was that we wanted. We just knew that we both wanted something different. And he was going through his own process of trying to figure out what was going on with him having these desires for men. And I was thinking, is this the end of my sex life with this person? We've been married for 13 years now. We are just not having as good sex as we used to. So now what? So I was in the same place as you. And I think a lot of couples get into that kind of phase of the intimate side of your relationship just doesn't work anymore. And you don't know what to do. You don't know how to expand from that point. And maybe one of you has closed down completely. Now, I had not completely closed down, but I was not interested in doing the same thing. I was bored. I didn't know why. I wasn't really, I didn't have any sex education. That's what it came down to. I had no sex education. I didn't know what to do, really do when it came to a blowjob. I didn't know I didn't know anything about, um, I didn't know anything about orgasms. I mean, I knew like orgasm, but like the various kinds of orgasm that I could experience as a woman. I didn't know about different ways of having sex. um, I didn't know all the different kinds of explorations that were available. I didn't know that kinks were considered okay. I thought that, any kind of kinky thing was weird. I mean, I had this kind of weird fantasy at the time of being a cat, and licking up milk in a bowl with a cat tail, and my husband coming behind and kind of, weird stuff. And I was like, oh, that's got to stay in my head. I can't mention this to him. He's going to think I'm crazy. And I'm just going to keep it to myself. And I imagine I didn't imagine then, but I think now he probably had a lot of things he was hiding. I mean, I know he had a lot of things he was hiding because we talked about it later. We talked about it later. And so I feel like I know you. I know where you're coming from. I've been there, I've experienced that, and I've been in that very, very long-term relationship. We ended up being together for 23 years. But we only ended up being together for 23 years because after the 13-year mark, we had a deep conversation. We exposed what was really going on. And so I have experience with that too, about exposing oneself, exposing one's deep desires to their partner. And that is tough. That can be a very difficult thing to do because it's scary. You have to hit a wall of, I can't live like this anymore. I just can't live like this anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to have pleasure in my body. I want to have connection with my partner in a way that's profound and beautiful and sensual and erotic. And I want to have that. I want to feel that. I don't want to feel, I don't want to feel rejected. I don't want to feel frustrated. I don't want to feel like we're friends, like we're roommates. I mean, why am I married then if I feel like I'm a roommate with my partner? So we were at that place. I mean, he was pulling away, trying to figure out what his bisexuality was all about. I was not knowing what was going on and also feeling other things, but not knowing how to express what was really going on for me. And so we were in that place of fear, uncertainty, and not knowing what the hell we were going to do. So not until he came out and told me he was bisexual, and I tell you a whole story about that in another video of mine about him driving me to the top of a mountain and telling me that he is bisexual. And then we started to talk. And at that point, I said, I knew we had to do something else and we had to try something else. And it was time for both of us to start exploring sexually. Me, for me to start exploring sexually, for he was already doing it. And for God's sakes, of course, like he's doing it, I'm going to do it too. I want to do it too. So I stepped up and said, okay, you're bisexual. Um, and I think that this is happening for a reason and that it's time for me to start exploring my sexuality. And let's do it together. I want to know what it's all about, what's going on for you. And I want you to be there with me while I figure out what's going on with me. And what better person to do that with than your most intimate partner, your husband or your wife that you've had maybe a long period of time with, that you trust more than anyone else, that knows you better than anyone else. So I have a lot of experience, personal experience in this department, and I've worked with many people. When my partner and I came out. He came out as bisexual. We came out. We had an open relationship. He started writing a book about it. We did a play. You know, we really started to come out, telling people, telling everybody, telling our children first, and then telling our family, and then telling people that came to the theater. And then we traveled around North America and told other people in other theatrical situations what was going on. And people then in the audience would cry because they were going through similar things and they had no one to talk to and they had not heard anybody speaking out about it. So it was really powerful and I we were both two people that realized, and I realized that more than anything else, that being truthful is super important to living one's life fully, to being able to connect to your desires, play out your desires, and to have a really fulfilling relationship. I am not saying it's easy. I know that it's very difficult. It was very, very difficult for us. And then we had 10 years of playing, juicy, wonderful sexual exploration together. I mean, wow, what a 10 years that was. Amazing, incredible, incredible. Um, we did everything, everything. I mean, we started off in just opening relationships, doing threesomes, MFMs, because he was bisexual, and let's do it, let's do them, let's figure that, let's see what this is like. I want to see what it looks like with you with a man and me with another man. My God, what's that going to be like? And then bring in a woman, then bring in more couples, then go to swinging clubs, and then have group sex, and then whoa, okay, all this sex is going on, this sex is going on, but like we want to feel more, we want to feel more. So then we start seeing kinky stuff happening. BDSM, what's that? Ooh, scary, scary. Let's open the door and see what that's all about. And then whoa, a whole other world of sensation play, of the adult sensational playground. I mean, wow, that is another incredible exploration that you can do as a couple, or you can do it in clubs with other people. Um, there's just, and there's endless possibilities within that world. And then there's got to be more. There's got to be more. Tantra, energetic sexuality. Wow. Another whole amazing, incredible world. And so the playground continues to unfold and show you all sorts of incredible, wonderful things that you can do. We reached a point where we were in going wanting different things in our lives. Like we were really sort of connected for 23 years in what we really want, 22 years, what we really, really wanted. The 23rd year, it really started to break down. Honestly, he wanted to sell drugs and it was illegal. And I did not want to be part of that. I mean, I do enjoy, and I did enjoy, I enjoy less. I did enjoy trying different kinds of drugs and partying and seeing how drugs affected sexual exploration as well. I have a lot of experience in that too. But I didn't want to be involved with somebody selling drugs illegally. So he was doing that, and it was getting bigger, and it was growing, it was growing, it was growing. And he was changing, and he was pushing me away, and it was just not working for me in that way. And also, we had gone into a dom sub relationship, and he wanted to dominate me 24/7. And I reached a breaking point. I don't want to be dominated like this anymore. I was playing the little girl. I was being disciplined. I had to do whatever he said. He had full control of my body. And it had been fun for a long, long time. But, you know, you have to be ready to change and try new things. And I was ready to change and try new things, but he was not. Um, and so it ended. And we went off on our own directions. And that's okay too, because not all relationships go on forever. Although this man, my ex, and I have a deep connection, a soul connection that we probably have played out many lifetimes together, and maybe we'll play out more. So I moved on, and now I'm in a new relationship, a whole new dynamic. Every single person that you get together with, it's going to be a whole new dynamic, a whole new experience. And so I wanted to bring up this story of my life and my explorations. And throughout that, after while we were doing the play, while he was writing a book, I started to take a lot of workshops and dive into symposiums with people talking about sexuality and intimacy. And I found teachers, and I was learning, and I was exploring even more and finding out more about sexuality and practicing even more. And then we started to really come out and doing the play across North America. People started to come and ask for advice and help and counseling. And so I gave it. And then it grew from there. And I love doing it. And I love being able to share my experience and being able to help other people go through their own journey. So that's my story. And I hope that you will come and join me at any time. I have programs, I do one on one sessions, I do weekend exclusive sessions, VIP sessions with couples, either with you or online. So connect with me and let's find out how I can help you, how I can serve you moving through whatever you are is in a relationship, through your sexuality, through opening up doors more, through finding out more about yourself. I had many, many teachers, and now I am a teacher, and I would like to help you. So thank you for joining me today. It's been interesting talking about myself like this. I don't usually do this in so much detail, but I thought it was important that you know who I am, the background that I have in this world of exploration, and the devotion that I have to talking about sexuality and breaking the taboos, helping people free themselves to become the incredible sexual beings that you are, to allow yourself to play out the desires that you have. And that's my job. So I will see you hopefully very soon. Much love making.